From the quiet places of the forest, where mystery walks among the trees. Welcome to the Church of Bigfoot, a gathering of seekers, dreamers, and blurry masses. Together, we search for truth, wonder, and the unseen.
Welcome, my fellow Sasquatchers, Squatchalites, and mossy-minded misfits. It is good to be here on the Mossy Trail together. I'm Reverend Jake, Archminister of the Unseen. Today we'll wander into a hard place, a holy place, and a very blurry place. The command we all know, no matter our religious or non-religious background, to love thy neighbor. I want us to sit in it, stomp in it, and leave with muddy footprints that mean something. You've heard the phrase 1,000 times, but most people treat it like a grainy photograph. They squint, they argue over the pixels, and they forget what the picture is actually of. People zoom in and find reasons to exclude. They make a list. I'll love the neighbor who looks right, talks right, prays right, votes right. God bless almost everyone is one of my most favorite movie quotes. But the ancient call we carry doesn't hand us that list. It simply drops the command into our laps and says, love thy neighbor, period. And who is that neighbor? It's not just a person with a perfectly trimmed yard, not just a church member who sits 2 pews over from you. Your neighbor is the entire yard, the street, the city, the whole planet. The neighbor is the homeless person by the highway, the stranger who cut you off on the way to work, the troll in the comments, the grieving mom, the politician on TV. The neighborhood is bigger than our own comfort. Before we walk any further, I have a quick favor. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button right now. Because unlike blurry Bigfoot videos that vanish the minute you blink, you can catch this community every week. Come stomp with us regularly. Stay blurry, but don't stay unsubscribed. Now we keep walking. You don't get to pick your neighbors. Love isn't a selective hobby. It's a way of life. So when you read the news, or scroll the feeds, or stand in the kitchen arguing about which stranger is the villain, remember, the option to choose who counts as a neighbor is not yours. The call is wide and wild. It's love. And that's where the pain comes in, because there are deep, searing things in the world, things that make our blood boil and our stomachs drop. There are child predators, cold-blooded murderers, abusers who wear smiles as camouflage. What do we do about them? This is the place where most people skip past because it's ugly. But not us. We'll sit here. Do we love the child predator? Do we love the murderer? Do we love the one who threatens to arrest us just because we oppose them? Do we love the one who has ruined lives? Yeah, in the sense that they remain part of humanity. And our call to love does not erase the fact that they still belong to the neighborhood of formation. But loving does not mean excusing them. Let me repeat that. Loving them does not mean excusing them. Loving them does not mean turning a blind eye to the harm that they cause. Loving them does not mean we let them keep hurting people. To love while evil is present means 2 things at once. We refuse to let hate devour us, and we refuse to tolerate injustice. We hold both. We must be clear with ourselves. Hate, it has its place. That's right. It's okay to hate. We don't have to deny this any longer. We just have to understand it. Hate can be righteous. Hate can be the muscle that rises up to protect the vulnerable, the tool that forces change. It's that response to cruelty. When people or institutions or systems harm children, or they create unwarranted conflict, when abusers continue unpunished, when violence goes unchecked, there is a place to hate that action, to stand furious and immovable against it. Hate can be the engine of resistance. It can bristle and roar and demand reckoning. But there's a line. Hate cannot be the house we live in. Hate cannot unpack its things and raise a family. If hate lodges itself in you as identity, it will eat the good things you wanted to protect. It will burn your roots. So use hate as a weapon, briefly and deliberately, to dismantle evil. Then we put it down and we keep walking, so the next generation can plant something better where the fire burned. Now, I want to name the bullies. They're not always the kid on the playground throwing stones, or the ones that attacked me when I was a long-haired skater punk. No, bullies now wear suits, and they speak in polished sentences. Bullies hide behind pulpits and podiums and press rooms. They use politics and religion as their clubs. They smear, they mock, they humiliate, and they find an audience who will echo the cruelty back down the line. And that public cruelty normalizes cruelty at home. It seeds it in kitchen, in group chats, in family dinners. It starts as a headline and ends as a broken relationship. We know the pattern. The media amplifies outrage because outrage is loud and lucrative. Social platforms reward the shrillest voices, and algorithms keep handing them the microphone. Studies and experts tell us that social media and parts of our news ecosystem fuel polarization and division. The structures are set up to reward anger, not reconciliation. This channel, this church, it'll probably never grow as big as some of the other channels that entice your anger. You going to the dark side is what they are after. The anger, the fear. This, it makes them stronger. Now, politicians too have learned that performance trumps persuasion. Insults stack up into identities. The rhetoric that mocks and dehumanizes makes it easier to justify harm against the other. Surveys and recent reporting show that many Americans, they believe harsh political rhetoric contributes to violence and that we're in a season of rising political aggression. Religion isn't victimless either. Religion, when it is weaponized, becomes another fashion of cruelty. People twist holy words to justify exclusion. They make piety into a door, not a bridge. When media, politics, and religion conspire, when soundbite replaces sermon, when snipe replaces policy, when zealotry replaces mercy, friendships break, families fracture, communities quarrel, and people stop eating at the same table. Kids in our school feel the ripples. Harassment and targeted political bullying are real and harmful. And we've seen how political targeting and anti-LGBTQ campaigns, for instance, lead to serious harm among young kids, young teens. This is why the bullies are so dangerous. They begin by targeting public figures and headlines, then slide into our homes and into our language. A joke on a reel becomes a slur at the dinner table. A mocking video becomes a hashtag used to shame a classmate. That's how the neighborhood crumbles. So what do? How do we keep our hearts from being hollowed out by hatred, from becoming a mirror image of the cruelty that we're resisting? Well, you can do 4 things. First, we can stand against injustice with righteous ferocity. We don't pretend abuse is a minor matter or sweep crimes under the rug. And this is for no matter who is the one doing these crimes. We hold the abusers accountable. We push systems towards repair and punishment where necessary. Our hatred of the act translates into action, legal, social, and moral response. That's where hate can be useful, when it's the fuel of work of protection, reform, and safety. Second, we refuse to let the media's diet of outrage be our spiritual diet. We limit our exposure. We choose sources that illuminate rather than inflame. We check facts. We remember that headlines are designed to make us react, not to help us love. Researchers and commentators remind us that the media landscape, especially mixed with social algorithms, worsens polarization. So we get intentional about what we feed our minds. We turn off the TV. We put down the phone. We go for a walk. Third, we resist political and religious bullying. We will not worship politicians. We will not idolize movement over mercy. We will call out cruelty whenever we find it, in elected office, in pulpit, in party rhetoric. And we will do so without becoming the thing we despise. We can be fierce critics of policy and practice while refusing to become the bullies ourselves. Fourth, and most important, we love the neighbor. That love is practical. A meal for someone who needs one, a call for the person ignored, a hand extended to the friend your politics told you to discard, or simply not to take judgmental so far to exclude someone. Love is not sentimental, it's stubborn. It looks at the person who hurt you and still chooses accountability and restoration over revenge. It chooses the hard work of relationship. If someone in your life has been torn from your table by politics, pushed away by a sermon that weaponized faith, go to them. Don't wait for the fire to die out. Rebuild. Tell them you miss them. Say you're sorry for the way you let the fracture happen. Actions can be louder than anything the media shouts this week. And for the child predators, the murderers, the abusers, do not let love be a cover for cowardice. Demand justice. Protect the vulnerable. Advocate for the victims. Let your moral strength be a storm that breaks the back of abuse. Then, if a person is willing to do the hard work of confession, restitution, and rehabilitation, hold the door open to restoration in ways that are safe, accountable, and just. Loving the neighbor in this era is a revolutionary act. It's easier to pick sides than to build tables. It's cheaper to shout than to sit and listen. It's safer to log off than show up. But the forest remembers those who show up. The trees remember footprints left with intention. And if this message stirs you, if you want to do more than just watch from the back of the clearing, consider stepping further into the path. To the ones who want a formal way to mark that step, you can become an ordained minister of the Church of Bigfoot. It's a symbolic, loving commitment to show up for the neighborhood, to speak for the vulnerable, to refuse idols, and to practice messy, radical welcoming. It's 100% free, 100% legal, and 5,000% legendary. If ordination isn't your thing, you can still become a supporting member and help build the table. Visit thechurchofbigfoot.org to take that step. Overall, I stomp with you, I grieve with you, I rage with you when justice is denied. I laugh with you when a news story proves small and big. Walk with me this week. Call the neighbor you avoid. Read one article from a source that challenges. Speak up against cruelty when you see it, and refuse to raise hate into a habit. If you want to learn more about what I think it means to be a good neighbor, you can buy my book on Amazon or listen to it on Audible. It's called The House of the Good Neighbor. Small Acts, Big Heart, a Manual for the Kind Revolution. I'm a huge fan of Mr. Rogers. That's why his sweater is on here. That's what this is overall based off of, how much I've learned from him. It took me about 5 years to complete this book. It's an easy read, and I've always tried to keep the price down. I'm Reverend Jake, Archminister of the Unseen. I really appreciate you being part of the Church of Bigfoot. Stay kind, stay fierce, stay curious, and stay big blessed.